Hey Scrabble fans, Will here with another episode of Better Know a Letter. Today, we're going to get to know the I. There are 9 I's in the set, and like the rest of the vowels, they're worth just 1 point apiece. Let's start with what the I does best. It greatly improves your chances of playing 7 and 8 letter bingos. More than half of all 7 and 8 letter words contain at least one I. Only the E and S appear more frequently in bingos. Several extremely common inflections involve the I, including the ing verb form and the IER and IEST comparative and superlative adjectives. If you're choosing between shorter plays that leave 4 or 5 strong bingo tiles, especially the ones in these inflections, including the I in your leave over the U, O, and sometimes even the A, can really boost your chances of getting a bingo down quickly. You can detect the influence of the ing suffix looking at which consonants appear more often than usual alongside the I. The N and G sit atop the list. Other bingo tiles appear frequently with the I as well, including the S, T, and L. Further proof that the I shines as a bingo tile. However, as word length gets shorter, the I begins to lose much of its appeal. To visualize this, let's look at the percentages of vowels at each word length. In the full set of 8-letter words, over 8% of the letters are I's. That number drops down to just over 5.5% in shorter words. The A and O, on the other hand, appear much more frequently in shorter words than long ones. This is in part because the ing and IER suffixes tend to be found in longer words. Words of 5 letters or fewer simply aren't long enough to include these endings. The 2-letter words are no different. The A, E, and O all appear in many more high-scoring 2-letter words than the I. However, the I does get a much-needed boost from chi, which is easily the most frequently played word in the game of Scrabble. The Greek letter xi also helps the I salvage some value here. Note also that the I is far more dangerous underneath a bonus square than atop it. Only the F can play underneath an I for significant points, but the Q, X, K, H, and several other 3-point tiles can play on top. Keep this in mind when positioning your I on the board. With 9 I's in the set, the threat of having more than one on your rack at once is significant. That same threat exists for the 9 A's, 12 E's, and 8 O's. However, the I is especially damaging to your rack when duplicated for a very simple reason. There just aren't very many short words containing 2 I's. First, take a look at the number of bingos containing 2 of each of these high-frequency vowels. You can see that while the E soundly outperforms the A, I, and O, the I is still on par with its vowel peers. However, now look at the number of shorter words of 3 to 5 letters in length containing 2 of each vowel. The I completely plummets down to a fraction of the other vowels. This makes words with 2 I's especially important to learn to escape from situations where you have an excess of I's on your rack. Here are a handful of words that you'll find extremely useful when you get into trouble with too many I's. Earlier, we looked at letters that perform especially well alongside the I in bingos. Now, let's look at shorter I words. The I and Y appear together in the ILY and ITY suffixes, but these inflections appear primarily in longer words, not shorter ones. The W also has very poor chemistry with the I. While the I continues to showcase solid synergy with low point tiles in shorter words, just as it did with bingos, keep in mind that shorter plays consisting of an I and low point tiles aren't apt to score very much. The only high-scoring tile on this list is the V. Okay, let's recap what we've learned about the I. The I is a superb bingo letter, appearing in over half of all 7 and 8 letter words, outperforming every other letter apart from the E and S. This is an extremely promising start when determining the I's value. Unfortunately, it only gets worse from there. In shorter words, the I falls solidly behind the A, E, and O as a scoring letter. And it also handles duplication significantly worse than these same vowels, a major problem for a tile that appears a whopping 9 times in the set. I'm giving the I 3 stars. If you're just starting on your journey as a Scrabble player and haven't mastered the skill of finding bingos, you might quickly learn to dislike the I, which is harder to use in shorter words than the A, E, or O. However, over time, as you get more and more comfortable with finding bingos, you'll find the I increasingly useful for that purpose. And every so often, it'll turn that albatross of a Q into a gigantic score.